Hello, this is Jari from Wintersun, and you're watching Richard Metal Fan.
Well, we managed to get time 2 before GTA 6. Hey everyone, Richard Metal Fan here, bringing you guys a brand new 2024 album review. And after so many years, we finally get this album. Yep, and as you can see below the title, today we're going to be talking about the long-awaited album from Wintersun entitled Time 2, which came out today through Nuclear Blast Records. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with Wintersun, they're a melodic death metal band from Finland, been around since 2003, and Wintersun for me were one of my favorite bands for a long time. Discovered these guys probably near the end of 2013. They've been putting out albums since their self-titled debut album in 2004, which, in my opinion, is probably one of the best metal debut albums of the 21st century. Has like really great songs like Winter Madness, Death and the Healing, Star Child, Winter Madness. I probably said that already. It was great out. That was a great debut, and then it was around 06 that they would eventually work for what would become Just Time albums. But I heard, from what I heard, that was split into 2 albums. So, and there was a lot of like delays, mostly because of like production and writer's block, from what I heard. And then 2012 we got Time 1, and we were hopefully expecting Time 2 to come out a little after that, but little did we know we would have to wait 12 years for the sequel. But then in between that, in 2017, they released their third album, The Forest Seasons, which I thought was a really good album. But here we are, here now in 2024 with Time 2, the long-awaited sequel to Time 1. And for a lot of people, there was a period where, especially with all the delays and stuff, where I kind of almost kind of gave up on them for a while. It's just with all the delays and stuff, and then you're already doing like guitar play. There's a lot of people who are getting like annoyed with that, so I can understand that. And I know that Jari is also a perfectionist, so he always likes to doesn't want to put out anything that's just like half-assed or sounding like shit. So I know they did like these crowdfunding to help fund a studio, and he did pretty much make a little mini studio in some of those recent updates, talking, and when Time 2 was finally announced, and when he saw like Time, and then when he, like, let's go back to really like March or so, when he said like it is done, and then he said Time 2 was 100% done. I was like, wow, took him long enough. And then let's just talk about like the production on here. The production on this is great. I definitely think they definitely, like when Jari said that Yari's a perfectionist, he definitely really shines on this. And his vocal work from Jari, I think the vocals on here are great. Like, I love how Jari displays like the 2 sides of his voice, where he has that kind of like sorrowful, kind of like melancholy kind of voice when he sings, and then his harsh vocals just definitely show that side of despair, anger, and just everything about his voice just really is great. And his guitar playing is really tight from him and Timo Mantasardi. Both of them come up with some really great riffs on here. The bass on here I kind of wish was a little bit audible from Yuka. I wish you could hear his bass a bit. And then the drumming from Kai Hato, in my opinion, one of the most underrated drummers in metal. I think his drumming just really is fucking brutal and kick-ass, especially the fast blast beats that he does, and especially like the beats and everything. So without further ado, and I rambled on for about 3.5 minutes, let's dive into this album track by track. Now, starting things off is Fields of Snow. Now, it opens up with some really great orchestrations that probably Wintersun has ever cooked up. But this kind of reminds me a lot of like When Time Fades Away from Time 1. And he definitely has that kind of like the hints of Japan in there, and it really feels off like really just like a hopeful kind of feeling. And you really just, like, when you hear the song, you just want to just prepare to what happens next. And I just think it's a great way to build up to the next song, which is The Way of the Fire, which we've heard from a lot of like live versions, even going back to when they played Tuska Open Air, which is a metal festival in Finland, back in 2011. Then there's like been live videos of that, so we pretty much knew of this song already. But hearing the studio version of this is just really a great treat. It starts off with some really great acoustic guitars quite softly, and then just erupts into pure Wintersun riffage. Has some really great everything, like the orchestrations, the guitars, the blast beats. Overall is just a great song, and it has a really great solo. And overall, I think The Way of the Fire is so great, and it's so glad to we finally hear the studio version of this song. And then we get to One with the Shadows. Now, One with the Shadows kicks off with some really good guitar riffs, which almost kind of sound a little bit doomy, paired with like Kai's drumming. And then I just love like I guess the whole vibe behind it just sounds very impending with like the really great riffs. And then it has like the right amount of flavor to make it like a perfect Wintersun song. And Yari's growls come in and accompanied by some great orchestration melody, which brings back sort of like the Japanese kind of vibe from Fields of Snow. And the chorus takes a surprise turn with the clean vocals, and I just think it's a really good song. Next up is Omnus Clouds. Now this is sort of like, I guess, the little bit of the instrumental, kind of like Darkness and Frost from Time 1. Now it has a bit of a hard rock infused guitar melody swooping in, set in with the sort of like the nature kind of like vibe with it and the synths, and you could definitely hear kind of like the storming and raining behind it right here, and I think it's a great little intro, interlude I should say, which goes right into Storm, which is another song that we've heard like live versions of, even going back to 2015 or so. And I just think it's a great, love how it kind of, the transition between Omnus Clouds into Storm is great. And the rain and thunderstorms are really great in the background. And then the keyboard melody joins in, adding to sort of like the Omnus kind of vibes. And then it hits right in the gear with almost becoming like a storm in itself, with the fast drum chops, really great choirs, and sort of like that neoclassical influences. And then it just a great sort of like the Japanese inspired sound, which is the whole vibe from the south, but much sort of like a perfect end to the song. And then we close things out with the epic Silver Leaves. Now this is the longest song on the album, about 13 minutes in length. Now this song steps in carrying a bit of like the post-storm kind of like drizzle in the background, and there's also like this sense of like the calm after the storm, and I just love the different vibes behind it, which continues like within like the intro, which is about 3 minutes long, and it is like, wait, you're down to the last song already when you first hear this. And then Yari's vocals, especially his clean vocal, will start off with a really great song, and the lyrics are just delivering really well. Like, time is flowing so fast, and soon there is nothing left of us. The more we wait, the more we regret, so please don't wait anymore. Has some really good lyrics, but this track doesn't just offer like the soothing melodies, it also sneaks like a deeper message, like cherish every moment because time flies too fast. Now overall, Time 2 by Wintersun, one of the most anticipated albums here in 2024, and I'm so glad we finally have it after many years. So if I were to give this album a score, I'm going to give Time 2 by Wintersun a solid 9.5 out of 10. So yeah, that's my review of Time 2 by Wintersun, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about it, and I'll see you all in the next video. And as always, keep it metal.